Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here. I'm quite nervous. It's the first time that I speak in public since 2 years, so. But I'm glad to be here, of course, in person, so thank you very much for having me. And thank you for the introduction of Jonty that talks a lot about the job that we did. As mentioned, we will talk about the principles and practice of co-design in children palliative cares that we have the opportunity to work with the Helix Center and Imperial College on the Paediatric Hospice in Bologna. Yes, that's my job, okay. First, I want to talk about decoding complexity. While we were working on the Pediatric Palliative Care Hospice in Bologna, I heard, and during my career working on healthcare and disabilities of child, I heard a lot about, I heard a lot about using the word complex or complexity. And designing and developing solution in complex context require complex teams with different backgrounds. And in addition, it needs to be managed to take advantage of different peculiarities and skill of people involved. Co-design means creating an ecosystem and managing a complex ecosystem of people. That we learn a lot, and I heard a lot talking about this morning, and this is mainly the work that we did in the last 8 years. I'm one of the founder of ... and Open. I will spend few words talking about these two organization. is an interaction design studio that mainly interaction design means creating interfaces or using technology to make humans interact with the world or with the information in a better way. And in 2014, 10 years after the foundation of ... we created Open., which is a research center focused on open innovation and especially human-centered design and co-design, especially focused on healthcare. We have been working with 5 hospitals in the last 8 years, and 8 foundations, 6 universities, and we developed more than 50 projects. Because of this, a couple of years ago, at least 3 years ago, we have been working a lot together with a foundation since the last 5 years, which is called TOG, Together to Go. Is a Milanese-based foundation that take care about babies with complex disabilities and neurological paralysis. I guess some of you heard about it. And together with them, we developed a manifesto of co-design because it was very important to define a methodology, and we also create a toolkit in order to help and lead and facilitate the process of design and bringing people with different backgrounds together. So I will go step by step into all of the 8 points of the manifesto, and then I will show you some examples on what we did while following these steps. Listening and observe. Co-design means creating space where all options, competencies, and experiences count and are useful. It means an act process based on listening. Observing and shadowing is part of the initial process of learning. This is very important from our perspective. We did a lot of research before starting designing, of course. We need to understand the context. We are not physicians or clinicians, or we didn't have any, medical background, and because of that, we did that to understand the context. But observing as a designer, it's very, very important, because you start the process of creating insight from your point of view. So this of observing first, it's very important. Teach and learn, this is another very important point. That we are all experts in something, and reciprocal training is fundamental. Doctor or physician, designers, and individuals with disabilities, expert in their condition, sharing knowledge and competencies, intersecting them. We learn a lot from especially physicians and experts, of course, but incredibly a lot from parents. Parents are the best problem solver ever, or people with disabilities are the best problem solver ever. They are facing problems since the first step of their child, or since their child they are built. They are always facing 24 hours a day. So learning and listening from them is a huge mine of solutions. So involving them into the process, it's very important, and learning and listening from them. Another step, which is very, very important, is speaking the same languages. I'm not really talking about, exactly being or becoming a physician or the physician becoming a designer. It's sharing a common background or sharing a common field where we can understand each other. Let me give you an example. Some of you are not Italian, and you experience arriving here that most of the Italian, they don't speak English. And it's very difficult for us, even interacting with people from foreign countries, because we are not used to speaking any other languages. But what if I go in a bar and I say buongiorno in Italian, if it's the only word that I can speak in English, in Italian? You will figure out that the people in front of you start smiling. They perfectly understand that you are not Italian, but they, appreciate the effort of you trying to understand the other in front of you. And this is very important when you create a complex team of persons working together on solving complex problems or issues, that trying to understanding each other or understanding each other contexts. Focus on the real needs. This is very important as well, that we do realize that it's not important or it doesn't matter if it's small or big, the need that you have, but it's really matter focusing on the reason, on the why you are working on that. Then the how come after. Then think and design together. Of course, this is very important. All of the other steps that just introduce this very important moment that is at the core of the design process. Moment of sharing, exchanging, and collective design guide the group towards the final idea. Stimulating everyone's creativities when it comes to devising a new and innovative solution able to address the real needs. So this is the core, really. And then, as soon as we were working together on finding the solution or finding or developing the idea, then materialize the idea is very important as well. So, and while I'm talking about materializing the idea, I'm talking about prototyping. Prototyping is very important in order to bring all of the people focusing on the same idea. So it's not, just talking sometimes is not enough, especially when you are developing products or solution or digital solution. So developing a prototype is very helpful for bringing all of the people understanding exactly the core on what you are working on. So prototyping as soon as possible. And nowadays, with software, digital fabrication, and technology of rapid prototyping, is very easy to build a prototype and touching it and really having it in front of it, materializing it as soon as possible. Then prototyping and prototyping again, that is not redundant, is a process of improving and increasing the solution. While you find the first prototype, then you keep it and you still working on developing it. And this is very helpful understanding the different way that you have in front of you, and even having the possibility to customize it. So keep prototyping is very important. And last but not least, replicate, scale, and share. It's well known in research. I have been teaching at Politecnico di Milano since last 8 years, interaction design. So I'm a professor as well. So it's well known how research and sharing the research is very important for keep researching. But this is possible with the product as well. From open source philosophy, we learn a lot, and how important is share solution, not only research. Share products and not only idea. That's very important, and it's feasible nowadays. There's plenty of platforms that allow us to share a 3D model in order to make other people able to produce it. And we didn't need to send it anymore, the product, from the other side of the world, because a 3D printer or a tool for digital fabrication, with a tool of digital fabrication, you can build your own product from the other side of the world, just sending bits instead of goods. So that's very important. So the way how we build this. For the Bologna Hospice, we apply all of these, let's say, points that I will show you for the manifesto, and we have the honor to work together with a great team of persons with different background. Some of the persons involved are here. I see Sergio Amari in front of me here. We talked with Franca Benini once during the pandemic via call. We had the possibility to work with all of you, and we are very grateful for this. And of course, we start, as I mentioned, researching, and we were working together on the research part. We were, following the Helix Center that did all of the research on the pediatric palliative care and the pediatric hospice in the UK, and they extended the research all over the world. So we were at the side of the Helix Center during that phases, and we learned a lot from that. Then we're mapping the needs on the architecture. One of the first sentences that I said to Sergio Amari, one of our first meeting is that we are here trying to avoiding the sentence that you might say later is, they should have asked me before or first. That's normal. That usually the architects, even if we have the opportunity to work together with Renzo Piano, which is one of the best architects worldwide, but usually the architects, they say, okay, you need a function that I will find a solution. But it's not the function the point, it's the need the point. So sometimes they forget the needs, and they focus on the function. So, and because of that, they are trying to avoiding forgetting the needs, and shifting from the function to the needs, then developing the functions, then building the architecture. We were very lucky, of course, the Renzo Piano teams, they were very open and kind to work together with us. So we first mapped the needs on the architecture. Then we built a workshop in Bologna, and we worked together for creating and managing and creating the flows and creating living labs. We were working mainly on the overall structure, the architecture, defining the walls and the flows, and we were even defining the living labs, what we define in living labs. I'm talking about some special rooms, like the art therapy room, or multisensory room, or hydrokinetics. This I cannot say even in Italian, I'm sorry. The swimming pool and the therapy done in the swimming pool, and so on. So we define how it has to be used, and the flow, and how the people, they have to relate with it. Okay. And so we were, defining the technology and the function within the building itself. But what is interesting is that this kind of process, it was already done by the architects and the system integrator, but they have to come back because we were there not providing them functions, but needs. And we were developing all of the architecture focusing on the needs. And so far, we deliver 3 books of guidelines. And we deliver this 3 book of guidelines of the people that will be involved into the building of the structure itself, the building itself. The building, it will be open in 1.5 years, I guess. So they are still on the process of interior design and creating the flow and the management. So we provide them so far the guidelines for designing all of this. So what we did, as I mentioned, guidelines for architectural design. We designed the function and defined the management of the 8 spatial rooms, such as mentioned musical therapy, multi-sensor room, and so on. We define over than 30 technological touch points. That means solution that might be helpful for the overall life of the hospice itself and the families and the child that stay around the hospice itself. And then we create the guidelines for designing the digital services and functions, such as the platform that will keep the parents and the clinicians and the therapists connected. So far, for the hospice, we reached the, let me say, the point 5. So the next steps, it will be materialize the idea, prototype, and replicate and scale. So I will leave you with a short video that show you some of the solution. It's a video that we built for awareness. So for creating awareness in a large field of medical, but not only. So within the video, we talk about 2 simple solutions in order to make people understanding what co-design is and what is feasible to reach. So if it's okay, I will ask to, okay, thank you. It's in Italian,
Siamo
but it's
tutti diversi.
subtitled.
E allora, perché prendersi cura di tutti allo stesso modo? Viola voleva una bicicletta, ma quelle adatte a lei erano troppo costose. È così che è nata la bici su misura di Viola, che la aiuta a controllare i movimenti e a mantenere le posture corrette. Molti bambini con difficoltà di presa non sono in grado di tenere in mano una penna. Glifo è uno strumento coprogettato per permettere a tutti di scrivere e disegnare. Non esistono scarpe leggere ed estive per contenere plantari ortopedici. La coprogettazione permette la massima personalizzazione nella forma, nella taglia, nei dettagli e nel design. Da un po' di anni a questa parte, grazie a nuovi strumenti e innovazioni tecnologiche, si possono produrre soluzioni personalizzate sulle necessità delle singole persone. Ma per ottenere il massimo da queste tecnologie, bisogna sapere come coinvolgere medici e pazienti nel processo progettuale. Negli ultimi 4 anni, OpenDot, grazie all'esperienza maturata con Fondazione TOG, ha sviluppato un metodo specifico per innovare l'healthcare basato sul co-design. Co-design significa progettare insieme, significa abilitare, accelerare e facilitare i processi, stimolando la creatività di tutti, medici, progettisti, pazienti, per generare soluzioni nuove che migliorano la vita delle persone. Il metodo sviluppato da OpenDot si fonda su un processo guidato, inclusivo e partecipativo. È necessaria la collaborazione di tutti i professionisti nei diversi ambiti, medici, terapisti, persone con disabilità, designer, caregiver. È fondamentale la condivisione di un linguaggio comune per abbattere il muro dei registri settoriali. L'utilizzo di nuove tecnologie di prototipazione rapida aiuta a materializzare le idee in modo veloce, agile e ad abbattere i costi di produzione. Grazie al co-design è davvero possibile generare innovazione. Condividi con noi il cambiamento.